second graduate, Katie, from the Peter Jones intakes, and we're on our third now. And we've moved from, it was a good idea to have a masterclass in melody, to 3 enterprise weeks in college now. So we stopped the track. We've done one in October, we're doing one at Christmas, we've got one in February. We are getting lots and lots of bits of college involved in it. Although it says about fitting it into study programmes, I've got some HE students that are involved in social enterprise, and we've got some community students, adult and community, doing this. So in fact, FIT is trying to get a buzz across college. It's not trying to just do something for 16 to 19-year-olds. We set up a training day, that's me and Kate, on the training day. One of the problems you've all had in colleges is what do you do? Your students only last you a year, 2 years, maybe 3 years if you're really lucky. You can't keep that momentum up if you don't get to the staff. So our first thing about spreading it across college was the staff. And we involved construction, engineering, computing, art and design. And I also involved cross-college people as well. So we had our marketing people there, we had our enrichment student liaison people there. I covered all but 4 curriculum areas in that day, in that training day. And it was because they were doing school links things, you know, and enrichment things, so they couldn't come. It's got a bit complicated since then. I'm director of curriculum, and enterprise is part of it, and I developed an enterprise strategy, and I thought, right, that's fine, enterprise weeks, off we go. But it's got, well, I woke up last night wondering how I'm going to get these Christmas trees for our computer students to sell, because I've got to buy them, and I've got a cost, and I'm thinking, how can I persuade my finance director to do that? I've got 40 elves, don't ask, going to switch on Christmas lights next week. I've got things that I didn't expect. It seems like we're 2+2 Warwick University students that are based with us promoting some boxing to raise some money for a boxing club in North Solihull, and I haven't really done very much about that, and I'm a bit worried about it because, you know, it's just gone. It's gone in different directions, and it's fascinating to actually watch that buzz. We've got a whole range of other things going on. The Social Enterprise Revolution has taught to lots of students already. We had 2 days of applied science students doing melody. All right, BTEC Nationals going into that. And they seem to be writing a play, science students, writing a play to go into schools, and they're doing like a CSI. And the next thing I know, I'm contacting the police to see if we've got some crime scene tape for the play they're doing. Completely unexpected, not planned. It came from the science lecturer that attended as part of the social enterprise training day that we did.
This is just pictures from the launch that we held in September with Melody and our principal, and we invited loads of people from the local community to get involved, and we had such a fantastic response. They all signed our plaque, which is I have joined the social enterprise revolution, and they're all now really supporting us, and the links with the community are just growing and growing, and the students are even bringing them in themselves after they've been on a boot camp or after they've worked with a tutor doing social enterprise in whatever way or form.
We've worked closely with Solihull Police, and we've got some really interesting projects. We're doing some work on e-safety for them. We're doing some videos on victims of crime. Our media students are making some interviews with victims of crime. They planned it in the first Enterprise Week, they're filming it the next one, and they'll go out and show it in the February one. So there's some weird and wonderful things going on. Our fine artists seem to be making something for Solihull that who knows what that's going to be like. They're at the planning stage and trying to gather resources and things, and that's BA Fine Arts students working together to do something that's of benefit and talking about perceptions in
Solihull. 5 years now,
so
that's employability, enterprise and entrepreneurship. And at the same time, we very heavily work with our tutor groups in the college, particularly our 16 to 18, but because of the nature of the college, we've got a lot of 19, 20, 21-year-old full-time students as well, because of the wonderful advice and guidance they get in schools, but I'm not here to talk about that. So we've got that. We've actually set them for the past 5 years something we call the Charity Challenge, which is to set up a micro-business or a social enterprise, but they wouldn't have used those words, to actually go out and actually raise money on behalf of a cause within the local community. And when we actually sort of encountered Melody's organisation, this seemed a very good opportunity to formalise it more and bring it into the curriculum itself. Because that's one of the key things I want to reinforce. This is not enrichment. That was more of an enrichment activity. This is more about doing it within the curriculum. The other strange thing about Harrow College is the fact that most people think they know Harrow because the name Harrow is associated with another very, very well-known educational institution. When I tell you the characteristic of the full-time students at Harrow College is the fact that the majority of them are below level 3, that probably tells you a little bit more about the organisation that we've got and the college that we've got. And it's about making sure that we take all the opportunities from all the learners we've got to enable them to do that, and actually, work with them to establish the concept of a social conscience, about the community, about giving back to the community. We are an extremely ethnically diverse local community. We have smaller white British population than Hackney. So it's, we really have got a real opportunity there to make a difference at community level. Bringing all that in together, which is something that I'm absolutely passionate about, is a really good thing for us. And Melody has kind of given us a whole fresh perspective on it. She's challenged the staff. She's worked with the staff to develop the curriculum side of things. Again, exactly like you, we brought in people from across the college as a whole, so marketing, learner services, quality and with staff development, have all got involved alongside the curriculum to make this happen. And integrating that, I think, has been very powerful for the staff of the college, but the great thing is that the students are really benefiting from it. We've only had the 2 boot camps so far. We've had some very interesting responses from some of the learners. One of my own personal encounters with it was the fact I still go around at the start of every year, talk to every new student group to let them know who I am and what I expect from them, and the usual thing that principals do. But one of the last groups I got to was a group in one of our sort of smaller centres who do construction, and they'd had the boot camp the day before, if you remember, and one of them won a prize. So I said, somebody in here's won a prize, anybody want to tell me who they are? No, So I thought, okay, well I've got the name here, so you can imagine a lot of enthusiasm. Can't possibly seem enthusiastic about receiving a prize for something when you're a couple of weeks in and all your peers are looking at you. Interesting it was, I think I told you after, the second we went out and he was sitting outside in the sort of covered area, the brickwork area, it was like, is this real? Is it really a prize? Did I really win this? And you can suddenly see, and his mate was going, oh, that's really good, I wish I'd gone now, and suddenly you could see it was sparking something else. So the cool had been broken and something else was taking place. And I think that, for me, was a very powerful example of what this can do. And social enterprise, I firmly believe, is the way forward for our local community, and I think I would suggest, humbly, not knowing any way you're from, it could work in your area as well. But you need to go into it with your eyes open. You need to understand that it's not just about putting something in and waiting for it to happen. People have got to get behind this. But most of our people work and live quite locally, about half do, half don't. And people actually can see the benefits locally, and that's really important. So that's where we are. Hopefully, in years to come, I'll be able to give you a more complete story. We'll be able to bring somebody on who's the equivalent of you from Harrow College, because that's what I'm going to go back from this and say, I've seen somebody, I want one. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Sonia. Really appreciate it. And we've delivered now 2 out of the 6 boot camps for those students. And earlier two weeks ago, I think it was, we were last at Harrow, and we brought in one of our partners, which are My Bank, because InspirEngage has lots of different partners that we bring into the college. And one of them is Unlimited, and we've mentioned Live Unlimited. They can offer that funding, and a lot of colleges have those relationships with them as well, that offer the seed funding. And then we brought in My Bank, who deliver a really hands-on social enterprise task. They set them a task. They get like an ethical product, and then they have to go away and sell it. So next month, we'll be back at Harrow College to see how those students did, and they've been so excited already, tweeting, taking pictures with their products and doing their sales. So that hopefully will be another really good time. So our third pioneer college is Barnet and Southgate College. We're a merger college, really interesting story, and I'm so delighted that David is here to say a couple of words. Thank you, David.
Thank you. It was like an AA meeting.
Yeah.
I'm now going to tell you my story. When we, a little bit of a college, merged college in 2011-12, 17,000 students, like Tony, some really aspirational objective, like everybody in the room. And for us, this whole issue of the DNA of employment and enterprise. And if there's any message, when we were looking at it, like Tony, we were saying, well, we've got a lot of good things going on. However, what are we really going to do to ensure that our students get the best possible chance in enterprise? Because one of our objectives is to reduce the dependency on employment and the employability market by encouraging enterprise. So we flipped the question. You know, we said to ourselves, why wouldn't we get involved? I mean, we hadn't come across an organisation like Inspire with so much passion. And we were thinking, what's wrong with this? We thought our employability and enterprise toolbox was pretty full with all the bits of tools that are necessary to encourage and sort of get things going. But clearly, we never have enough tools. We never have all of the specialist equipment in the right way. So we come to the conclusion, quite simply, do you know what? We want those students of Barnet Southgate to come back to us, like the inspirational story you've got, Katie, to say, I've done something and I've got, hopefully, a profit, I've got kudos from being involved. And, you know, we had an example. We had our coding students, IT students, and they were studying mechatronics, which is sort of all pneumatics and all sorts of fancy things. But they come up with an idea, and they come to our management team and said, what we'd like to do is sell to our local high street. And Southgate is that classic outer London suburb, lots of small shops, you know, no major employer, but lots of boutique type of outlets. And they need some support, they need some inspiration. So this group presented to us, we allowed that, we gave them some incubation funds, and they now produce loyalty cards for small businesses. Fantastic. Big message for us in all of this has been the response from the local businesses. You know, we're not just a college that gets high qualifications. That's almost a given in our world. Everybody in this room in the same position. But the business feedback to say, do you know what? Your students are now turning out to be productive. They're enthused. Actually, you know, we're gaining as a business. So for us, and we really are at the start. You know, if Tony's a little bit further down than us, we are really at the beginning of this, and we're just so proud to be associated with Inspire. And if there's any message, you know, give it a go. Because clearly I think there are so many tools in the box that we need to have available. And for our students, you see, we go from accountancy to Zumba. Now, it's great having car valeting, the social enterprises, mechatronics, but so much talent. You know, students who are coming up to us now saying, how can we get involved? Because I've heard about you're doing something with this Melody woman. And that's the thing. It's a hook to say, you know, we can make a difference. And for us, we want the world, don't we? We do want our students to come back in the next number of years and say, you helped me on my way. And if we can do a little bit of that for our students, I'd buy it every day of the week, to be honest. So we're really pleased, and you know, like Tony and everybody, really, I think it's just one of these things that can grow and grow. So, you know, good luck. And if you are thinking about it, you know, yeah, dip your feet into the water, because actually it's worth it.